Uncle Henry Show. Thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. What a beautiful morning it is. I'm not out in it. I'm indoors looking at the world through a window. From my vantage point here in the prestigious Bel Air Mall region of Mobile. Looks like a gorgeous day. It really does. And if you love humidity, what a great day. What you're going to be so happy today. We've heard the traffic reports this morning from Ray Romero about getting around with even more beach traffic because a lot of people now wanting to make it to Pensacola for Blue Angels today or tomorrow. So be aware of that. You may have needed to get to where you wanted to go a week or two ago. That might have been a better plan if you had just tried quite some time ago to get to where you are headed. But here we are together on the Uncle Henry Show. The President of the United States of America, you may remember one Donald Trump. He is in Hamburg. He's going to be meeting with Vladimir Putin. From what I have been able to gather with my limited mental capacity and limited resources, the meeting will be the Secretary of State, Mr. Tillerson, and President Trump, and then Vladimir Putin, and whoever his equivalent is of Secretary of State for the Russian government, and then 2 translators. And that allegedly will be it. Those will be the people meeting. I'm intrigued by this because our media, most of our media doesn't like the president, and they don't trust him. They're always arguing about whether or not if he knows what he's talking about or if he's deliberately misleading. They're just very skeptical of the president. And they've now decided that Vladimir Putin is the greatest enemy to humanity that we could ever have. And so imagine the speculation. I'm intrigued at what kind of speculation we're going to get because no one's really going to know what is talked about in that room. So we're going to have a lot of people on TV today, tonight, and tomorrow, and maybe even through Sunday morning, speculating on what they're guessing they talked about. And it'll be where somebody's sitting at a desk and they'll turn to the other person and say, "So what do you think they talked about?" "Well, of course, I don't know, but based on this," and we're going to have nothing but people making stuff up. So this, I guess they need to study improv and acting before they go into news. Speaking of news, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the nines.
We're getting word of what may be a new interstate problem spot now. This is westbound I-10 at about mile marker 4 in the Grand Bay area. It's an accident spot. You do have a fire unit en route there, so look for some flashing lights through that stretch. Not seeing much delay yet, but again, this is westbound I-10 through the Grand Bay area. A couple of other accidents on the board, including green light at Knollwood and St. Stephen's and Oak Drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Happy Friday. We've got storms back in the forecast, not just today, but all weekend long. We'll call it a 40% chance of storms mainly this afternoon, but we will see a few during the morning hours. Otherwise, storms will be off and on all weekend long. Look for highs through the weekend to be up around 90 degrees with overnight lows generally in the middle 70s. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News and this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by Compassion International. Every child is born with talents, hopes, and dreams, but poverty will steal those dreams. You can help a child find hope when you become their sponsor with Compassion International. Give a child a chance to dream again. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.
Your home for traffic and weather on the nines every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. So the president in Germany, the G20 continuing today, tomorrow, protest, 100,000 people showing up to protest, anti-capitalism. Already lots of police hurt there. From a practical standpoint, you wouldn't want that in your city, right? We always want conventions here. We would like to attract as many as possible, to use our convention center and to use our hotels, eat at our restaurants, all of that. We wouldn't want this, though. You do not want the G20. Is that... I don't know a lot about how they decide where to meet. I wonder if it's a punishment on Hamburg. If Hamburg did something wrong, if they offended somebody, and then they were picked as some type of punitive measure, that we are punishing Hamburg. But then again, maybe there's a positive economic impact. Certainly if you make glass, if you replace broken windows. You know, when we have hurricanes locally, although we haven't had them in many, many years, but people would come from all over the country, some people with power tools, and go door to door and offer to cut limbs and things for you for cash. Do you remember that? I wonder if people that replace windows in Europe, just all over the EU, if they head in there like it's a hurricane and make money replacing whatever is broken by 100,000 protesters. Now, not all the protesters are violent. So could it be a net plus? It doesn't look like a net plus to me because something like 100 police officers were hurt. So I don't know how you can interpret that as positive. But from an economic standpoint, I wonder if they end up somehow making money off of something like that. I know you don't want to let violent protesters win or affect your behavior, but I sure wouldn't. I just wouldn't want it in my town. In fact, I'd suggest that the G20, now we've got the technology to do it online. Have you ever had to attend a webinar in your company or just some massive, ridiculous conference call? If they did the G20 just online, where the protesters would be confused, right? They wouldn't know what to go tear up. Maybe if there's a town that needs to be demolished, I don't know if there are any, but if you had something you needed to tear up or buildings to demolish, maybe you could have the G8 in a place designated to be torn up. See, I know you don't want to hear me think out loud like this. It's just it is an alien way of thinking to me. The idea that I'm not a fan of such and such leader, so I'm going to travel somewhere and throw bricks at something. That does not compute for me. All right, look, traffic and weather coming up in a moment as the Uncle Henry Show continues.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you, whether you're at home, your business, or online. We help keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT, home safe home.
Celebrate your independence with a safe from Mike Ward's Liberty Safes. Come by the Mobile store for instant savings up to $1,000 off on select Liberty models in stock with 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Right now, also receive a free accessory up to $50 with every Liberty Safe purchase. It's service after the sale at Mike Ward's Liberty Safes with free delivery up to 50 miles. Why go anywhere else? Just look for the giant Liberty Safe at exit 5B I-65 and Moffett in Mobile. Call 471-1137.
Let me surprise you with an interesting fact. You ready? Of all the media options today, AM/FM radio reaches the most people each week. Yeah, you heard me right. Radio is the leader, AM/FM. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio every week. That's bigger than TV, newspapers, even Google and Facebook. If you're a marketer and you need to improve your plans, remember, radio.
Smart Home America can teach you how to save money by fortifying your home, improving your energy efficiency, and by buying just the right homeowner's insurance coverage. Learn at smarthomeamerica.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
The creak you heard wasn't your house settling. The second creak confirms that. Each sound is seconds apart, separated by the hiss of a hand sliding up the banister. This is not your imagination. This is happening right now. Someone is in your house and less than 10 steps from you and your baby's crib. Wishing you had a way to defend your child? Get it at galleryofguns.com. That's galleryofguns.com.
We're getting word of what may be a new interstate problem spot now. This is westbound I-10 at about mile marker 4 in the Grand Bay area. It's an accident spot. You do have a fire unit en route there, so look for some flashing lights through that stretch. Not seeing much delay yet, but again, this is westbound I-10 through the Grand Bay area. A couple of other accidents on the board, including green light at Knollwood and St. Stephen's and Oak Drive. With time saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Planet Fitness.
Now through July 13th, join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, and get your groove on in our judgment-free zone. Join in club or at planetfitness.com. The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free.
See club for details.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Friday morning. Get ready to be stormed on. We've got a 40 to 50% chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, partly sunny with an afternoon high of 90 degrees. A few storms will roll into your Friday night plans. Otherwise, even more storms on Saturday as we are mostly cloudy. The high once again will be about 90. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News and this iHeart radio station.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin coming up in about 10 minutes so that you will know the latest. Whatever it is you need to know, you'll likely hear it. My attention was pulled toward the state of California. California, what an unusual state. They're becoming more ornery. California more ornery after the election of President Trump. They've always been, to many of us here in this part of the country, California has always behaved in what we considered unusual ways. They had unusual habits. The hippies were out there. But didn't the hippies start out there? So the hippie movement and all of that. And they've been striking out on their own. They've got legal dope smoking. They also want they want to become a sanctuary state. So they don't want to obey the laws of the United States of America when it comes to dope smoking or immigration law. There's even a number of people in California that want to leave the country and form their own country. Now, when that's done in the South, it makes people very nervous, and people get very upset, and warning bells go off. Out in California, it's seen as exciting and fresh, different attitude out there. Well, I'm bringing them up because now it looks like they're moving in their state legislature to stop changing the clock twice a year. Spring forward, fall back. Spring forward, fall back. I personally despise changing the clock. I don't care if we fall back or spring forward. I want us to pick one. Pick one and stay there. Quit messing around with the very nature of time. The arrogance of politicians. Any time a politician comes up to you and gives you a reason that you need to be an hour ahead or an hour behind or whatever, just know that the BS, and I apologize for using those initials because it's very unpleasant, but it's like a BS pipeline has been just opened up, and you're about to be covered in it. Spring forward, fall back, spring forward, fall back. It's all a bunch of malarkey. It doesn't mean it. It's absolutely ridiculous that we do it. California, now originally they wanted to stick with standard time and just leave it there. But the people of California contacted their legislators and said, no, we want the other one. We want daylight savings time. And they got a lot of input from parents of little children that play Little League sports. That just keeping daylight savings time year-round would be more popular. So that's what they're moving toward. I'm not sure I understand the full process because I've tried to stay out of California, and I don't know a lot about it other than the hippies. But it looks like they would have a vote. Now, federal law, and see, it's ridiculous that there's a federal law about this, but federal law says that you can go to standard time all year if you want, but federal law doesn't allow you to go to daylight savings time year round. So they've already gone against federal law by legalizing dope. They want to go against federal law when it comes to immigration law, and now they may end up going against federal law when it comes to their clocks. I find this all fascinating for many reasons. Of course, the reason that just remember, any state in the South, if we try to go against federal law, people get very nervous about that. People get very, very nervous about that. But in California, it's completely different attitude. I'm also fascinated by this because I love the idea of picking daylight savings time and sticking with it. I'd be fine either way, but I love that they want to pick one. Again, I think it would require a vote, a statewide vote, constitutional amendment in California where people would go and vote for it. But it's something that if I were given an opportunity to vote on, I would vote for it. So I hope this inspires other states, including this one, to do away with our federal government. They ought to be smart enough to abandon the springing forward and falling back. And I would love to join California. I don't think I've ever said that I'd love to join California on something, but I'd love to join them on this and get rid of springing forward and falling back and just sticking with daylight savings time. You know how we've been told, some of the Democratic lawmakers especially have said that if the Republican health care plans, if the plan passes, it's going to kill people. I think doctors claim that springing forward and falling back does kill people. So I'm in favor of whatever it is they're doing. All right, news is next. Uncle Henry Show continues.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Just when investors were expecting the worst, they got the best jobs added numbers in 4 months. The Labor Department says the economy created 220,000 new jobs last month, and while the unemployment rate rose, it was because more people were looking for work. The May report had turned in disappointing numbers, and the ADP count of jobs added to private business in June missed targets, so stock futures, which had been hugging the flat line, moved higher. S&P futures up 6, NASDAQ futures up 21, Dow futures up 45. How intelligent is too intelligent? Apple has been experimenting with that for a year. The Wall Street Journal says Apple's testing something called differential privacy. Algorithms blur data being analyzed by adding some statistical confusion so that data analysis can't put your name or face on its numbers. Now Microsoft and Uber are testing the idea. I'm Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, can I still take advantage of today's low rates? Is it still a good time to refinance? The answer is yes. Now's a great time to call Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.12%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Home isn't just a place. It's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, we help keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance. So you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home. Safe home.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Audi Traffic Center.
Accidents on Greenlawn and Knollwood and St. Stephen's and Oak Drive. Also westbound I-10 at about mile marker 4 in the Grand Bay area, but we haven't noticed any interstate delay through that area. Kind of a quiet morning on the interstate system, at least for the time being. Where you will find an awful lot of vehicles and folks, though, are along Pensacola Beach. They're trying to get a good early seat for the big Blue Angel show later this afternoon. That's put a lot of additional traffic through that area very early in the day. I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good morning and TGIF. Get the umbrellas ready to go. Showers and storms are back in the forecast today and sadly most of the weekend as well. We'll call it a 40% chance of storms on Friday, climbing to 50 if not 60% chance this weekend. Expect highs all 3 days to be around 90 degrees with lows in the middle 70s. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News and this iHeart Radio station.
Suddenly, Facebook isn't so much fun. Good morning, I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeartRadio News Update. Facebook may be fun for many teens, but images posted there have 6 juveniles.
And hello, Facebook. Here I am. Good morning. Good morning! This is the first time I think I've addressed Facebook this morning because it's been, today I've had some technical problems that have required me to, in every commercial break, I've had to mess around with the computer. It's been very challenging. It's one of the rare times this has felt like work. But we're getting close to the conclusion of the program, and I don't have to mess around as much. By the way, Ariel, we are streaming for this hour of the Uncle Henry Show. We were streaming on the Beat of Mobile Facebook page. Oh, that's okay though. Don't change it because I've shared it with the other pages. But we are streaming. Yes. And no surprise, Ariel, that when I found the video streaming on the Beat of Mobile Facebook page, the only person watching it was me. As you might imagine. All right, well, let's see. It's the weekend again. Do what you want to do. The Spider-Man movie is coming out. In the newspaper, put Spider-Man. There's a half a page of a bad drawing of Spider-Man. And I don't know. I like movies where people punch criminals, because in real life, a lot of time, criminals get away. So I like the movies where they make it simple and the criminal is caught. And you know they're actually guilty. Sometimes in real life, the person who's caught maybe didn't do it. So I like it when it's simplified for me. I like that. And we have the fantasy that the guilty party is always caught and gets some type of punch. But for some reason, I'm just not interested in this. Maybe if Spider-Man, they're portraying him as like a sophomore in high school. Maybe if he were like 55, that would be the Spider-Man that I would be interested in. Or even 65. An older Spider-Man would be interesting to me. He's just, for some reason, this just doesn't appeal to me. But I'm sure the special effects alone. And the bad guy, Michael Keaton, plays somebody called the Vulture. So he's an adult that's going to wear feathers at some point. I don't feel like I could be dignified. And look, here's a picture of the Vulture. He's wearing, what is he wearing? Is that like a coat? What is this? Is this a fur-lined coat or what? It just, that doesn't look very menacing. It's like, Spider-Man doesn't need to have any kind of special powers. He could just pull out the pepper spray and be done with that guy. So, just not in the mood. But I may see it in the next few days just so I can complain about it. Also, the headline, Star Wars needs stewards. Star Wars. See, this is one of the problems in that people think Star Wars needs something. It doesn't need. I'd say it's pretty okay. It doesn't. I don't think it needs anything. It already has more money than most countries. Star Wars needs to be taxed, is what it needs, to pay for a road to get me to the Iron Bowl. All right, stand by. We're going to go back to radio.
Go to iHeartRadio.com now to upgrade. Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Here we are, Friday. Even though we just had a weekend a couple of days ago, All right. I was looking at news from the world of business because I have not started my own successful business, and I really admire people that start their own successful businesses, and that's why I like to read business news, so I can pretend that I've had some form of entrepreneurial success. I was reading that McDonald's in foreign countries like Australia, Great Britain, that the way they stop people from fighting is late at night. There are worries that Australians, people in Great Britain, will have a few drinks and then go into anywhere and get into a brawl. And the way they've decided to fight this is they play classical music in the McDonald's. Now, in some neighborhoods in Mobile, if you played classical music in the McDonald's, that would start a fight. People would fight about the music. In fact, there are a lot of places in America. Almost every morning, you can look at the news and see where a fight broke out at a fast food restaurant over fill in the blank. The sandwich was cold, and then somebody's attacked. This is every day. But in other countries, they play classical music, and that allegedly calms the fights down, that people don't get into the fights. I would love to see that experiment done in this country. Would people actually calm down if you played classical music when they go into McDonald's or other fast food restaurants? Or would they actually physically attack the people at the fast food restaurant that are playing the classical music? One of the two is going to happen. I want to thank the Lord that I've never been in any kind of brawl in a fast food restaurant. That seems to be, if you're going to get into a brawl, you need to pick a better place. Somewhere, I know there's not much dignity in a brawl, but where did you get into a fight? You don't want to say you were at Crystal. Where did you get that scar? Oh, I was defending my honor at the Crystal. That just doesn't go together. It doesn't add up to a story that you can tell at the dinner party. That you defended your honor. Waffle House, maybe so. Now that's, for some reason, I can see defending just about anything at a Waffle House. And I wouldn't have trouble telling that story. All right, so by the way, if your family gets into fights, find out if maybe classical music can help. All right, back with more. There are even other things to get into right after a quick listen to traffic and weather. We present them together every 10 minutes on the Nines.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
We picked up a new interstate accident southbound I-65 before the Chickasaw exit, also Lott and McCrary, that's been working for a while. And if you're headed to Pensacola Beach, you need to know that public parking lot underneath the big beach ball is almost completely full. That almost never happens this early in the day, but there is a Blue Angel show this afternoon that's got a lot of folks headed to the beach early to stake out the best viewing areas. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Planet Fitness.
Now through July 13th, join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, and get your groove on in our judgment-free zone. Join in club or at planetfitness.com. The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free.
See club for details.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Happy Friday. We've got storms back in the forecast, not just today, but all weekend long. We'll call it a 40% chance of storms, mainly this afternoon, but we will see a few during the morning hours. Otherwise, storms will be off and on all weekend long. Look for highs through the weekend to be up around 90 degrees with overnight lows generally in the middle 70s. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News and this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by Staples. When it's time for last last-minute changes to a big presentation, let Staples be your office away from your office with everything you need to print, scan, or fax. Access files from a USB, email, or the cloud, and use the self-serve machines to avoid waiting and get back to business. Staples. It's pro time.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I know many people get very frustrated with network television and the networks for various reasons. I saw a story about TV networks, the broadcast networks, trying to find a way to change their ratings, their TV ratings. I'm not sure I understand it exactly, but they will deliberately misspell the name of their show in the Nielsen TV listings, and it somehow creates a new listing for that show, so you're not comparing it to previous episodes or something like that. So when they know that it's likely that less people will watch their show, they deliberately misspell the name of the show. And I can't remember if it was NBC or ABC, but they spelled nightly news NITELEY to try and, I guess it's a hack, some loophole with Nielsen. I wouldn't be too. Maybe Nielsen will be mad at him for it. But if there's a loophole, it's generally human nature to take advantage of the loophole, right? But I found that quite intriguing. That somebody at a TV network decided that a great way to hack Nielsen is to misspell the name of your show, and that somehow helps. And in modern America, I don't know that misspelling even matters anymore. I did see people on, I think it was on Fox last night, talking about new emojis. And they were worried about what is the impact on our culture that we have new emojis, that now everything can be expressed in emoji. I'm not worried on the it's not that we're stupider, because we have a history of people being stupid going up through the beginning of time. So I don't think people are any stupider or any lazier. What I believe it is, though, is that the technology, if you're being asked to type something on a tiny little device like a smartphone, doesn't it logical that you'd look for a shortcut? It doesn't make it. So I found the whole discussion of what do emojis mean, isn't it horrible? No, I don't think it means that we're stupider or lazier, that we're dumbing ourselves down, that it's the destruction of civilization that we use emojis. It's logical. I don't like typing messages to people on these phones. A lot of times I send out the wrong message because the autocorrect wants to change my spelling, and so it makes sense that somebody would, instead of writing something out, would take a shortcut and put some smile or something on there. All right, there's one more segment of show coming up. The Uncle Henry Show continues on a beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. Hey, for security, alarm systems, cameras, monitoring, and more, call TSI Alarms and Audio. Call 251-662-0500 or online at the tsigroup.com. TSI Alarms and Audio.
I don't like compromise, which means I don't want adjusting my underwear every other set until it becomes part of my routine. Solution? Frigo by RevolutionWear.com. Underwear reimagined. I stay cool, dry, and focused on my next rep, not tugging and grabbing and putting things back in place. Frigo by RevolutionWear.com is as high-tech as you can get with underwear. No pinching, no pulling, no restricting. Buy Frigo online now at RevolutionWear.com. The revolution starts below.
I'm always interested in finding ways to save money, and there's a Gulf Coast organization set up to help local homeowners like me and you save. It's a nonprofit called Smart Home America. They've got a website, smarthomeamerica.org. It's become a one-stop resource for homeowners who want to save money. For example, personally, I find shopping for homeowners insurance confusing, intimidating. I'm never sure I'm covered the way I should be. smarthomeamerica.org has a homeowners insurance buying guide to help. They also can teach you about re-roofing with a fortified roof. This is a roof that's safer. It can help you save on insurance and increase your property values. And smarthomeamerica.org also teaches about energy efficiency and more. Check it out yourself. The website is smarthomeamerica.org. Build a stronger home, save money, and get the right insurance. That's smarthomeamerica.org.
The Sad family's tradition of caring started with John and Dorothy Sad more than 3 decades ago. The Sad Healthcare family has grown to more than 400 employees, but we're still the same local people you've known for years, offering in-home nursing services, hospice care, rehabilitation therapies, and medical supplies and equipment. Our goal has never changed, offering home healthcare services with integrity, professionalism, and above all, compassionate care. Stop by any of our Gulf Coast locations and you'll see Sad Healthcare's family tradition of caring in action.
I'm Uncle Henry, a customer of Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. I've used them for maintenance and for when my old system went out on me. Last year, I asked them to turn to the experts, Carrier, and replace my old natural gas furnace with a Carrier 95% high-efficiency unit. And so I had a cozy, warm home last winter with lower heating bills, and I'm looking forward to a cool home this summer with that new system. Carrier, high-efficiency natural gas, and Heads Heating and Air Conditioning make a great team. Did you know they've got financing available at 0% interest for up to 60 months? You can't beat 0% on a new system. What a great combo. Carrier, natural gas, Heads Heating and Air Conditioning, and financing at 0% interest for up to 60 months. So turn to the experts, Carrier, and call Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. The number is 251-653-7873. 251-653-7873. See if you qualify for that great deal on 0% interest.
It's Heating and Air Conditioning, where 3 heads are better than 1.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Kia Traffic Center.
Well, it's not even 9 o'clock yet, and the public parking lot underneath the big beach ball on Pensacola Beach is completely full. That never happens this early in the day, but what's going on is there's a Blue Angel Air Show over the water later today, so lots of folks have been getting to the beach early to stake out the best spots. There are parking lots both to the east and west that are open, but the big one completely full at the present time. Also an accident on Lott Road and McCrary. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's.
McDonald's $5 daily deal. Enjoy a different extra value meal every day of the week for $5 each. Get hooked on quality and value with Filet-O-Fish Friday, Big Mac Monday, and more at McDonald's. For a limited time, price and participation may vary.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Friday morning. Get ready to be stormed on. We've got a 40 to 50% chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, partly sunny with an afternoon high of 90 degrees. A few storms will roll into your Friday night plans. Otherwise, even more storms on Saturday as we are mostly cloudy. The high once again will be about 90. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News and this iHeart radio station.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We have news headlines coming up in 10 minutes. From Fox. That's on News Radio 710 WNTM. If you're listening on 99.5 FM, The Jag. Sports! 11 o'clock this morning, Colin Cowherd, one of the most really provocative hosts. Always has something that he's provoking out there. So that's today on The Jag. Here we are as we approach the weekend together. I was looking at all the different stories from the world of business, from the world of science, from the world of entertainment. I saw the story about the sharks. Scientists continue to want to extend the human lifespan. They're looking for ways to make us live longer. Even though I keep getting told that the things I want to do are bad for me. Like, you're not supposed to sit, for example. Sitting is supposed to be bad for you. And yet they want to make me live longer. Why would I want to live an extra 30 years if I can't have a seat? But scientists are continuing to look for ways to extend the human lifespan, and they're claiming that sharks, there's some shark that lives almost 400 years, and they're thinking that something in the shark's DNA may help humans live longer. Now, something about this I don't like. It sounds like the beginning of a bad science fiction movie, that they think the shark can make people live longer, and so they experiment on people, and the people turn into shark people. It just sounds like a terrible movie. And then it also annoys me that there's sharks that are living for 400 years. These things, I am not a fan. These things would love to eat us. If we're there, and they can, they're going to take a bite. So I'm not a fan of something like that living 400 years to begin with. So if the scientists are studying it, if they can't find a way to make us live longer, I wish they could find a way to make the sharks live shorter, if you know what I'm driving at. But it just is annoying. There's so many great people on the planet that leave here before I'm ready for them to go. And meanwhile, there's some sharks out there that have been around 400 years. And that just really burns me up. What else to get to? I saw on AL.com tax analysis. There's been some study, of course, of taxes in the United States, and they claim that Alabama has some of the highest when it comes to sales taxes. The story written by William Thornton, he writes, Alabama has the 5th highest combined state and local sales tax rates in the nation. We rank 5th. Louisiana at the top with 10.02%. But this is sales taxes. So when you add all the other taxes up, though, people will continue to remind us that we have much lower property taxes and other such taxes. In fact, it was former Mayor Dow who used to come on this show and say that we were some of the lowest taxed people on the planet. Doesn't feel like it when it's sales tax, but I guess I'm bringing this up to say, might as well not pay attention to this story, because I don't think anything will change. The only way that sales taxes will get lowered is if some other tax gets raised. And it's hard to pick something that you want. It's hard. If I had to sit down and pick a tax that I wanted to pay, that would be hard. I know that if we're going to have police departments and fire departments and drainage and paved roads and sidewalks, that I know that I'm going to have to pay some taxes, but it's very hard for me to pick which ones I would want to pay because I don't really like any of them. So to try and I'm sure maybe you're the same way. You realize that you have to pay some, but you don't really like any of them. Getting people to agree on which ones we would keep and which ones we would lower or get rid of, I don't see that. I just can't see that happening. Be very difficult to get people to agree. It's a lot of us would agree on lowering any of them. Very hard to get people to agree on raising any of them. Because I can find wonderful reasons not to raise any of them. All right, let's see. Just a couple of minutes left in the show. I did see that the U.S. and on a semi-related note, consumer spending very high in the month of June. An analysis of consumer spending, I think it had the average American spending over $100 a day. The average American spending over $100 a day in June. Now, I really don't understand that. Does the average American make $100 a day to spend? I guess I need him to come out with a new analysis telling me what does the average American make in a day so that we can figure out whether or not this leads to some disaster. But to me, that sounds a little high, that maybe our consumer confidence was maybe drunken if we're spending over $100 a day. But I guess that's good for people that are selling things. All right, we're out of time on today's program. I hope you have a wonderful and safe weekend. If you were going to the Blue Angels today, you should have already left yesterday. But you've still got tomorrow if you want to go see the Blue Angels performing in Pensacola tomorrow. And there's plenty to do here in beautiful Lower Alabama. In fact, if you have leftover fireworks, maybe you could buy Ariel's leftover fireworks. All right, out of time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on Facebook, on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. Those videos will be available for you whenever you want them, if you want to review what has gone on the program.
Hey guys, pardon the advertising interruption to your radio program. Do yourself a favor